Hey everyone, Goji Fan Predator 2003 with another review. Now, let's go with one that's made plenty of appearances in video games, but, well, not many appearances in the shows. So, here we go. Here is, hang on, Geronimon. Now, he's called the Chief of the Monsters, but, well, you know what, I'm going to move some of those out of the way, just so we can, there we go. Now, he's called the Chief of the Monsters because he can bring them back to life, but he's only appeared in the Ultraman series at least once against the original Ultraman, and I'm afraid that's the only time he's ever appeared live action. But he's made plenty of appearances in video games. But let's get straight to his history, shall we? Now, as said, well, let's get back. Well, okay, let's go to the beginning of the story. So, Pigmon is revived by Geronimon. However, Geronimon doesn't know that Pigmon will basically tattletale on him and tells the defense team at the time, the Triple SP, and, well, he revives two other monsters, Dorako and Teleston. I have them both right here. Here is Teleston. Let's put you back there. And Dorako, but Dorako looks different. Very different, as you can see here. He doesn't have wings anymore. Doesn't have the sickle claws. He's got hands. And he's got more head spikes. And kind of looks like a crown. And this points upward instead of downward. So that's something. But these are... Okay, those two along with Pigmon are the only ones that Geronimon resurrects or revives. But when Dorako, Geronimon are defeated... Actually, no. When Pigmon is taken out by Dorako, one of the members of the defense team shoot Dorako with a new weapon, and he ends up being destroyed with barely any piece remaining. And Teleston is taken with ease with his entire body remaining. But with all three down, that upsets Geronimon, and he comes out of the ground. He shoots at them with his, I want to say, flotation breath. However, I'm unsure what type of gas that is, so flotation gas, I'm going to call it. He fires that at them, and they end up flying, but then Ultraman appears to save them. And he also can shoot, well, he can move his tail around and can command feathers to go to his opponents, like darts. And I dare say he's got telekinetic abilities with that, along with maybe resurrecting the monsters. But more on to the point. Ultraman gets a few hits onto the chest with the feathers, but he ultimately dodges some of Geronimon's attacks, and I guess blocks some of the feathers, then goes against Geronimon, ripping off his head feathers after he runs out of tail feathers. I believe there were different colors. Yeah, there were a lot more different colors of feathers than what's seen on the Geronimon figure here, but that seems to be okay. It'd be pretty hard to color all the feathers into different colors, but, well, anyways, Ultraman starts ripping off the head feathers as if they're nothing, and Geronimon tries to flee, but then Ultraman prevents him and does the finishing blow. And that's the last we see of Geronimon in the live-action series. Now, as said, he has made plenty of game appearances, like in Daikaiju Battle Ultra Coliseum, and I want to say, yeah, Ultraman Fighting Evolution. However, outside of the games, he still hasn't made a live-action appearance. It would be very cool to have him back. I mean, you have the Chief of the Monsters right here, so why not have him bring back other monsters? and maybe a revived form. I mean, you have Redorako here. He certainly looks different, but, well, Teleston doesn't look different, so I'm not sure how that works. So, yeah. Onto his abilities, he, as said, has a flotation gas. He can spew it out of his mouth, kind of like Godzilla, but instead of exploding things, it's, well, shoots them up into the air, then they come crashing back down to Earth. He just blows, and then they all lift, and then they either die or get severely injured or stunned from that, as even seen with Ultraman. And he can also shoot feathers, or rather, wave his tail around, then command his feathers to go to opponents, and can also revive other monsters. As seen in the games, he does it like this, and then a large glow appears, and the monsters come rising out of the ground, like how Dorako did. And, in the games, he's also revived, well, in one of the Ultra Monster games, he revived Supercov and Gan-Q, but he ended up getting defeated, and they were defeated afterwards as well. After that, he hasn't made that many game appearances, which I dare say is a poorly made choice, because you have a monster that can revive other monsters, not just Bolton. Bolton can literally bring back monsters from the dead too, but Geronimon can do the same thing. Maybe it's because Bolton is a bit more famous than Geronimon. Maybe. You know what, that may be it, since I guess Geronimon does count as a lesser-known monster. Now, onto articulation. His arms can rotate, so can his legs, but gotta make sure the arms are not in the way in order to do it. And his tail can rotate, but the legs need to be out of the way because of this fin he has on his back. But his head can't rotate, nor can his body. Now, onto detail, he has a sort of, I want to say, a lava-like pattern on here. I mean, they kind of feel like cracks of lava on them. Then the rest of him is more like a generic monster skin, type of leathery, not scaly, but tough enough. Also has a sail back here, and along with the feathers, they feel rough because, well, they're plastic. And you can see the nice details and ridges on them, along with a bit of a, I want to say, a dry brush on the white feathers, because they do feel like dry brushing and look like it. He also has nice facial features. Again, the feathers used to be multicolored, but on this figure they aren't. Probably to reduce painting time. They even featured his facial fins, and even his teeth are seen, but they aren't painted, just sculpted. And the rest of his, to be honest, his mouth kind of looks like they're gums. And he also has a beard, and the beard does look like hair with the paint added on. And that's nice detail work. You can see it within his eyes and his face. I guess you could say this is like a generic dinosaur. Well, a generic dinosaur face, but that's just me. Along with the fur on his wrists and around his ankles, as you can see. And I feel like his tail was a bit longer in the show, but, well, maybe they had to, yeah, his tail was definitely a bit longer in the show. And these feathers used to be a bit more outward rather than inward, probably to reduce them from breaking too easily when they were making this guy. And his feathers back here are blue, and the ones up front are red. I'm not sure why the back ones here are blue, probably to add in the color variation. How I would rate this figure? Well, I'd say it's pretty good. Despite his feathers not being multicolored, well, there's always the choice to repaint his feathers and modify him, but I choose not to on mine. Because, well, to be honest, I'm not sure how well I do, especially if the feathers are this close to each other. There's still the risk of putting on the wrong paint in the wrong areas, rather than putting the right paint into the right areas. And you can also probably modify this, but that also mean either breaking the figure or ruining it. But anyways, I would definitely recommend finding him, but he is a bit pricey. But well, for anyone out there collecting monsters or kaiju, it'll be well worth it in the long run. And comparing him to Gomora here, I dare say it's equally sized. Look at this face off. Look at this face off. You got the prince of the monsters against the chief of the monsters. Actually, now that I think about it, maybe Geronimon could revive Gomora and he'd be probably a sub-chief, or yeah, probably a sub-chief of the monsters. But that's an idea. I mean, that is certainly an idea. Then here's also Namegon. He's a lesser-known Ultra monster, predating Ultraman, since he came in the series Ultra Q. I'll be doing a review on him eventually, along with Ridorako. But anyways, the only other times we see Geronimon is either in stock footage or as a poorly made costume within a few fighter series outside of Ultraman. The same can be said with Teleston and Dorako. But anyways, leave your thoughts on Geronimon in the comments along with his abilities if I miss any. And be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Until then, stay safe and don't die, because, well, still be safe out there, because if you aren't safe, then it may be the end of your life, and I doubt he will want to do it, because Geronimon only brings back monsters, not humans. You only have one life. And monsters, I guess they have plenty, so yeah, that's a large disadvantage and obvious fact. Anyways, till then, be safe out there. Wait. Wait, what are you... Really? Well, you're just gonna...